Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving into Anime Vanguards and, more specifically, the traits that can make or break your run. Whether you're just starting out or trying to climb the ranks, picking the right traits can mean the difference between steamrolling the competition or getting stuck on that one annoying level. I know, we've all been there. So, in this video, we're going to break down the best traits in Anime Vanguards, ranking them from top tier game changers to those you might want to avoid. Trust me, having the right augment can really boost your character's stats and passive abilities. Let's get into it, and don't forget to smash that like button if you're ready to dominate with your new build. I'm quickly moving on to the video, and I'm ranking traits in Anime Vanguards. Before we start, if you enjoy these types of tier list videos, don't forget to like the video and subscribe. Enjoy watching.
A very small portion of the audience is subscribed to the channel. Please don't forget to subscribe if you like these types of videos. Thanks.
The traits in this tier are, in order from top left to bottom right, Vigor, Range, and Swift. Alright, let's dive into some of the C tier traits in Anime Vanguards. Now, these traits are okay. I mean, they're not going to blow your mind, but they'll definitely help out early on when you're still working with basic units. The thing is, once you start racking up those rerolls and get some better options, you'll probably want to swap these out. But hey, they've got their moments, so let's talk about them. First up is Vigor. This one's all about raw damage, just boosting your unit's firepower. I'm a sucker for anything that straight up makes my units hit harder, especially early in the game when you don't have those fancy mythic units. I mean, a 15% damage boost with Vigor 3, that's nothing to scoff at. It might not be the flashiest trait, but when your units are slapping enemies a little harder than usual, you'll definitely notice. Next, we've got Range. Now, Range is one of those traits that sounds super cool, but it's kind of situational. It gives you a 26% total boost across the 3 levels, but honestly, most of the units already cover a decent area on the battlefield, so unless you've got some very specific strategies where you need that extra distance, it's not exactly game changing. Nice to have, but not a must have. And finally, there's Swift, the trait for all those characters that hit hard but move like molasses. We're talking a 26% boost to attack speed at max level, and this is awesome for slow but powerful units. Swift turns your heavy hitters into faster heavy hitters, which is always a good thing. It won't make your team lightning fast, but that extra speed is definitely going to help those big attacks land quicker. So yeah, C-tier traits aren't mind-blowing, but they're still useful in the right situations. They can definitely hold their own while you're still climbing the ranks. The traits in this tier are, in order from top left to bottom right, Scholar. Alright, let's talk about B-tier traits in Anime Vanguards. These traits aren't exactly the ones you're going to be bragging about to your friends, but they're decent enough to get the job done. Think of them like the solid, reliable characters in your squad. They'll support you for a while, but eventually, you're going to want to swap them out for something a little more, well, exciting. Take Scholar for example. This one gives you a nice little experience boost, about 10%. That might sound pretty sweet at the start, right? And yeah, if you're early in the game, this is one of those traits that will help you level up faster and get a nice head start. But as you progress, you'll realize it's not exactly game-changing, especially when you've got traits that can help you wreck your enemies more effectively. So, while Scholar is great for that initial boost, you might find yourself trading it out down the line for something that packs more of a punch. It's like having a reliable car that gets you from point A to point B, but sooner or later, you're going to want the sports car. The traits in this tier are, in order from top left to bottom right, Marksman, Fortune, and Blitz. Alright, so let's dive into some of the A tier traits in Anime Vanguards. These are the traits you definitely want to keep an eye on because they can really take your units to the next level. First up, we've got Marksman. Now, if you're a fan of ranged units, this trait is an absolute game changer. Marksman boosts your unit's attack range a lot. Think of it as range on steroids. It basically makes it redundant. So, if you've got any ranged attackers in your lineup, this trait can really help them dominate the battlefield by picking off enemies from a safe distance. Next, we have Fortune. This one is a bit more niche, but still super valuable. It's especially helpful for money generating units, but honestly, it can be great across the board. Fortune either increases your income or reduces the cost of your units, which is like a 2-for-1 deal. If you're trying to build up your economy in-game, or just want to get more units out faster, this trait is a lifesaver. Who doesn't love cheaper units or more money to work with, right? Now, let's talk about Blitz. If you're all about speed and getting in quick attacks, Blitz is your go-to trait. It makes your unit attack significantly faster, and in a game where every second counts, that extra speed can be the difference between wiping out a wave of enemies or getting overwhelmed. Imagine your unit just spamming attacks while the enemy barely gets a chance to react. That's Blitz for you. It's all about giving your unit that rapid fire edge. So yeah, these A tier traits, Marksman, Fortune, Blitz, are the real deal. They each bring something unique to the table and can drastically change how effective your units are. If you're lucky enough to get them, make sure to build your team around these traits because they can seriously turn the tide of battle in your favor. The traits in this tier are, in order from top left to bottom right, Monarch, Ethereal, Deadeye, and Solar. Alright, let's dive into the absolute top tier traits in Anime Vanguards. These are the ones that, if you're lucky enough to get them, are going to change the game for you. We're talking S tier traits here. Seriously, you can't go wrong with these. So, let's break them down, starting with one that's got a bit of a catch, Monarch. Now, Monarch is one of those traits that sounds insane on paper. I mean, a 0.1% chance to get it, and it turns a unit into an absolute monster. We're talking massive stat boosts. This thing makes your unit 3 times stronger, but here's the kicker, you can only place one of them. So yeah, it's like a nuclear bomb in terms of power, but sometimes it's better to have 3 regular soldiers instead of 1 tank, especially when you're playing something like Infinite Mode where you need to cover more ground. It's a beast no doubt, but you gotta think about strategy here. Next up is Ethereal, and wow, this one is fun. Ethereal is all about speed and damage, perfect if you want your unit to just blitz through enemies like they're nothing. With this trait, your unit gets so fast it's like they're not even from this world anymore. Picture your favorite anime protagonist in that blink and you miss it moment, and that's Ethereal for you. If you get your hands on it, you're in for a wild ride, trust me. Then, we've got Deadeye, and this trait makes your unit a crit machine. Every hit has a chance to deal massive damage, and when it lands, oh boy, it hurts. If you're the kind of player who loves big numbers popping up on screen, Deadeye is going to be your best friend. It's all about precision, so if you're lucky enough to score this one, your unit is going to feel like a sniper, just absolutely wrecking anything in its path. And finally, we've got Solar. This is like the jack of all trades for traits. It gives you everything you want in one neat little package. Increased range, a little extra damage, and a nice boost to attack speed. It's like your unit is powered by the sun itself, just tearing through enemies from a distance. Honestly, Solar's one of those traits where you can't go wrong. It's not the flashiest, but man, is it reliable. So, there you have it. These S tier traits are absolute game changers, and if you land one of these, you're going to be on a whole new level. Let me know in the comments which one you're aiming for, and if you've already got one of these, flex those stats. The video ends here. See you in another video. Don't forget to subscribe.